weekend. Hope you're all having a great day across the globe, whether it's PM, midday, or AM. And welcome to Rick Boyardi, World Builder, Transformation Academy. This is where I show you how to find it in you, within you and without you, to transform to something that you want to transform to, hopefully something better, and also a place where we can discover how to transform our world in which we live together. Today's topic is, I believe there's a blessing in this pandemic. I believe that the numbers 99 to 1 are a good thing, and I'll share why. I feel that what's happening now is social media is where people speak, especially in this pandemic because of social distancing. So people aren't gathering in the places that they used to gather in a few short months ago, and everybody's turned to the various forms of social media to try to find meaning and find hope and figure out what the hell to do in this situation. And I mix in some of my personal experiences as a means to show you the points that I'm making. And one of them is that I'm beginning to feel like that people are reacting in a way they don't even realize, in that it's very similar to one giant family being exposed to something that is literally shocking to the core, soul level, and people are reacting all over the place, emotionally, with fear, with positivity, with negativity. Just like an issue amongst a group of close friends or family, everybody kind of feels that they need to express it, and they do. And they, just like when you're in a family, you may need to get something out. You feel uncomfortable with it, but you've got this overriding massive amount of emotion that you need to express. And so you put things out there, and everybody's hypersensitive, because the minute somebody responds with anything other than what you're hoping for, you've got a ton of emotion. And then those people on the other end, it's the exact same thing for them. So why do I say that there's opportunity in this pandemic? It's because people are starting to realize how connected we are. And that is either through the shock of the feedback you might get when you say something, but nonetheless, people are realizing that, hey, guess what? We are connected, and we're all going to sink or swim in this situation together. And I think it was necessary for people to come out on social media the way they have, because it's a natural response. And if you look at it as a family or a tribe or a group of close friends, it's the same thing. And you know, this social media world has connected us all. And you know, a lot of people will say it's disconnected us and all, but I think it was necessary. These things don't happen by accident. Whether it's a planned agenda by somebody, or it's a global consciousness level rising together, and then these things happen that we can't see or foresee, and then they're upon us, and we can't see higher than what we're lost in the forest of it. But we go through all this stuff, and we start to elevate ourselves, so we start to look at a higher elevation, and we see, hey, you know what? Maybe this thing was actually a good thing, that it was a necessary part of global transformation and personal transformation. And I keep checking my time here because there's a glare on the screen. I don't want to go beyond 14 minutes so I can download this to you all faster without additional editing and so forth. 99 and 1. What do those numbers mean? To me, they mean 1% controls 99%. It's probably been that way since the beginning of recorded human history. And those 1%, you know, you can look at various statistics, but they control, you know, possibly 80+% of the world's resources. So they are truly the shot callers. And, you know, you can agonize over the fact that we are where we are. And there's a feeling of helplessness. The other thing is, you know, people are debating all sorts of things in this pandemic. You know, are the masks a good thing or are they a bad thing? You know, are they a symbol of oppression? Do they have any true medical use? All of the different questions that have arisen on the medical front and on the social and economic impact, all of this stuff. One of the reasons why we're all going through this unknown and all of this hypersensitivity is that, guess what? There's no true source that we can go to as a species and say, these are our spokespeople. And, you know, right now everybody's saying, oh my God, you know, like, Trump's the man. He's, you know, he's fighting a battle for us. Before you go crazy with me just saying that, there's also the other side that's saying, you know, Trump's the devil incarnate and, you know, he's doing everything to mess us up. And I only say Trump because he's the president of the United States right now, and that's for 330 million of us. You know, but go over to England and you know, Boris and all of that, and, you know, just pick your country. But nobody feels like there's a source we can trust. And that's not because it's Trump or Boris or any of the names, because it could have been any of the other names. It could have been Hillary or whoever. You know, I just use the UK because that's the one I know the most about next to the US, is that we don't feel we can trust anything. You know, there's political agendas on both sides. There are monetary agendas behind all of this. There's fake news, which was born upon the need to gain control and power. And, you know, everybody's putting out fake stuff. Somewhere in there is real stuff. Real stuff is getting banned. And, you know, sometimes people feel they're doing the right thing by doing that because they feel it's fake. But then on the other hand, there are people who are banning true knowledge because they have a dark agenda. With all that being said, that's 1% that runs the show. So, you know, we have 99%. And, okay, so maybe we start to see that this 99-to-1 ratio, this pandemic, is a blessing in disguise, because it's woken us up. There's nowhere to hide anymore. You can't hide in your job. You can't hide in the things you self-medicate with and be healthy. You can't run from this thing. There's nowhere that you can't see what's going on. You can't even walk outside without reminders of the division this thing has initially caused, when you just see half the people with masks and half without, and everybody's looking at each other like you're crazy if you're on one team or the other, one belief system or the other. I, for one, believe this was meant to happen. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is Rick Boyardi World Builder, and you subscribe, you watch the videos, you'll see that on many of them I was saying, we're at the tipping point. This thing is going to happen in some form soon. I'm not saying that because I'm telling you I'm like Nostradamus or something. Instead, I'm telling you that I'm a guy who gave it the 10,000 hours, which allowed me the credibility and the knowledge and the links and the incredible amount of connections you can make with the data and the resources out there to come to these conclusions. I'm not hyperreactive. I've been studying this since 1987. I was studying this stuff before there was an internet, before there were smartphones. Back in the day when you had to have people fax you publications they found because it was so amazing and they needed you to read it. Or you went to bookstores. I was one of those guys that would go sit in bookstores, sometimes on the floor, reading chapter after chapter of books of these things I was trying to find that I had heard about. It was all word of mouth back then. Maybe people could email you. You've got to go to this place or that book. It was done on a different time scale, a different speed, I should say. And the people that were with me back then, we were finding our DNA matching these resources as we got deeper and deeper and deeper into the topics. So now, in this pandemic, when people like me speak out, and then people on the other end who have never been in that world, have never even considered it, they were happy with their jobs, you know, and rightfully so. There's a lot of good things in this world. And then all of a sudden somebody's telling you, look, man, this whole virus, there's something bigger than you ever imagined behind this. And their initial reaction, just like in a family, would be like, are you fucking crazy? Where's your head at? How tall is that tinfoil hat reach into the sky? And then people like me would say, hey, what the hell is wrong with you? How can you not at least listen? You know? So again, family battles. I'll give you some examples, and I keep checking my time here. I don't want to go beyond 14 minutes. What are we at? 12 minutes. I had people that, you know, I was friends with my entire life, and they would say things like, you are literally out of your mind. There's something wrong with you. You're stirring it up unfairly and wrongly. And, you know, because they were friends and because they still are friends, I wouldn't just counterpunch them. Give it time and come back with what I felt to be the most reasonable response. But I think people are getting better at that on both sides of this situation. And 99-1, we're the 99%. We're fleshing out our fears and our disbelief and our shock and our terror all together. But people are starting to get better at not being so feeling attacked when somebody else presents an altering or alternative opinion, and then those people providing those opinions are doing it in a more gentle manner. We need to keep going with that. Nobody is going to rescue us except us. 1% is not going to do it. It's not in their interest. It's not in their agenda. You. Every one of you is a divine creator. In your cells is all the knowledge and power of the universe. And you've got trillions of cells. You're super powerful. So am I. All of us together, we can build a new thing. Let's build new political parties that represent cooperation, equality, long-term views, and the knowledge that we are one tribe. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Peace and love to each and every one of you. Take care.